I'm excited for this one, guys. We got our hands on this brand new Spektrum Firma brushless kit for the 124 crawlers. This is a great new kit. It's available for pre-order now at the time of this recording. $90 for this kit. Comes with the censored brushless motor and the censored ESC. It's a direct plug-and-play for a lot of SCX24 models. There are some caveats to that though, and I'll get into this when we get into the installation. But I'm really excited to check this out, and we're going to demo this in the AX24 budget build. If there was ever a mini crawler that needed an ESC upgrade, it's this thing right here. So this is going to be a great direct replacement for the AX24. It is compatible with the stock ESC receiver combo on this model, so this will be a direct swap for this thing. Very exciting. So we're going to do that. We're going to swap it in here. I'm going to open this thing up first. I'm going to show you guys the motor, check out the ESC, I'll go over some of the specs. Then we'll install it in the AX24. We'll do some before and after runs. We'll also compare it against the FuriaTech system, which is this thing's main competitor. And we'll see for around $50 less how good is this new combo. Let's not waste any time. I'm super excited for this. Let's jump in and check it out. So let's open this up and take a look. Here's a little box that it comes in. Nice packaging. We open it up. Fits in there nice and snug. Very nice presentation. Comes with an extra pinion gear. It's a plastic pinion gear. I can't tell if that extra pinion gear is a different size than what's already on the motor. I'll have to look into that for you guys. But if we look at the motor itself here, very nice looking piece of hardware. This is a 4500 kV censored motor. Has the bullet style connectors on it there. It has the plastic pinion gear already pressed onto it. Nice glossy black canister here with the orange on the back. Looks very sharp. To give you some size comparisons here, let's look at it against a 50 size motor. So if you can see that, the size of the canisters there, it's very similar to a 50 size motor. Probably 3 to 4 millimeters shorter, I would say. Diameter is very close. So an advantage of this motor is that you'll be able to install it. It mates up to the stock transmissions. You'll be able to install it with very little, possibly no ancillary modifications to your chassis, and in some cases not even to your electronics, which is great, but we'll get into that in a minute. The motor mates to this censored ESC. This is an 8 amp ESC with a 6 volt BEC built into it. It is capable of up to 2S, so you will not be able to run 3S on this system. It's set up for crawling, so it has direct from forward to reverse. It does have a drag brake programmed into it, but again, there is no customization options. There's no external tuning that you can do to this to customize any of those settings. It is compatible with a range of SCX24 and AX24 models. There are some caveats to that, which I'll get into in a minute. But some big advantages of this is price. For one, for $90, you get this complete setup, which in many cases will be a direct plug and play for your SCX24 or AX24, and will give you a significant boost in performance at a much lower cost than competitors on the market. ESC comes in this nice aluminum case. It's got the black aluminum on the top and the orange anodized on the bottom. Looks fantastic. I'm not sure if it's waterproof or not. I'll have to look into that for you again. So very exciting. Nice to have some options out there, but let's check out the AX24 as it is right now. I want to show you guys some before runs so you can see where it is in current state, and then we'll throw this in. I'll show you how to install it. We'll go over what ESCs it's compatible with. I'll show you exactly how it goes into the AX24, and then we'll run it again and see how it goes. So let's check it out. All right, real quick before we hit the course with the AX24, just want to talk about the compatibility with the axial transmitters and receiver combos. So we're going to be using the AX24, which has the SLT3 setup, and it is compatible, directly compatible with this setup. So this is a direct plug and play with the AX24. If you get into the SCX24s, it's going to be a little different. So if you have one of the Gladiators, one of the Broncos, or some of the later model JLUs, it would come with this V2 electronic system, which has the blue ESC case here and the blue accents on the transmitter. This is not compatible with the brushless systems, including the new Spektrum unit. So if you have this setup or one of those rigs, you're going to have to upgrade your electronics. If you do, one of my favorites for a good budget-friendly upgrade is the FlySky GT5. It's about $80 on Amazon. I'll link it in the description down below. It's a great way to convert your electronics and open up a lot of doors for motor combos and electronics down the road. If you have a deadbolt or a C10 that runs the V1 electronics, which is going to have this all black case, it is compatible with those units. So it would be a direct plug and play for those trucks as well. Now, let's put the AX24 on the course. We're going to see how this thing crawls in its current state, and then we'll get into the installation of the new motor and ESC combo. I'll show you exactly how to install it, and then we'll do some after runs to see what we get for performance out of this new motor combo. So let's go hit the course. So the timing of this motor combo is impeccable, as I just wrapped up this budget build, and one of my biggest frustrations of this after modifying it is the ESC, which really starts to struggle after it gets modifications on it. And I'll show you exactly what I mean here. It's like bound up solid for the most part right there. Very, very twitchy. You have to really muscle the rig around with the throttle when you start upgrading it. It's just very frustrating. So I'm super excited to put in this new brushless combo. It's going to be fantastic in this rig, I think. Just going to do some quick runs around here just to demonstrate how this thing crawls in current state and give us a good baseline here. I don't know if that translates on camera, but the ESC in the AX24 is also very whiny. So optimistically we'll get rid of that noise as well. To some folks that's not a big deal, but to me it gets irritating. You can just see it's jumpy. It just kind of lurches when I get in a position where I have to really, especially using the four-wheel steer at full lock, it's very, very twitchy and requires a lot of throttle input to move it. So that's unfortunate. A lot of potential here. We just need to open it up. Let's hit the challenge lines. We'll do the usual. We'll do the escalator first here. Whoa, that was a close one. That's a good run up there. And now the chute on the other side here. No drama there. And Hell's Gate, last one. That was a good run by the budget build. I'm impressed. So we've got some good baselines here, and I hope I've demonstrated kind of what my pain points are with this rig. Like I said, I think there's great potential in this build. The budget build came out really well. We get this new motor and ESC combo in here. I've got high hopes for it. We just got to unlock the gains that we made from those modifications. Alright, cool. Good place to stop right there. Let's hit the bench and we'll install the new setup. Alright, let's do this together. Hopefully this shouldn't take long. Should be a pretty easy swap. Changing the motors out, it's pretty simple on these things. So what I'm going to do is just drop the skid plate out so I can access that motor, and we'll put it together that way. Should be able to drop it, pop it out of the chassis here. There's our combo. We got to unplug it from the top. Okay, so here's our current motor setup. I've got the Torque Beast 30 size in here now, so we're going to remove this access it by taking the transmission cover off first. We'll need to take the front drive shaft off to remove the spur gear. Spur gear comes off. It's a 4mm lock nut. With the spur gear off, we need a 1.5mm driver for these 2 bolts to take the motor out. Out with the old. Pop the new one in. Holes line up perfect. Looks great on there. Now reinstall the spur gear. Make sure we've got good mesh. Smooth, very smooth. Put our lock nut back on. Most important thing with these motor installs, don't over tighten this lock nut. Alright, drive shaft going back on. Reinstall our transmission cover. There's our motor and transmission combo ready to go. So plug in our little sensor wire here, because they're in the top of the motor right there. Now we're going to plug in our bullet connectors. So again, they're very simple. We're just going to match up the colors. Alright, now we can go ahead and start putting this thing together. Alright, motor is installed. Now we got to find a home for the ESC here. I saw in the pictures on Horizon Hobby, they just stuck it right on there, which looks perfect, actually. Yeah, like that. Nice and snug. I got some double-sided tape. Stick it right on the front. Look at that. Very nice. So with our 3-pin connector, this is going to go on your channel 2 switch here. And that's the same for your other ESCs as well. If you're doing this on an SCX24, you want to use the channel 2. That should be good. We're pretty much done. Now, let's fire this thing up. Just do a quick test here. Battery plugs into the ESC. It's an interesting little noise there. Got good steering. We got power. Slow crawl is decent. It's a little jumpy. You can see, I'll move the camera around and we can check this thing out. So that's your slow crawl right there. When it engages fairly abruptly, when you get the throttle to engage, right there. A little bit of a hitch down low. It's still vastly improved over stock. But that's the extent of your slow crawl right there, I would say. It is very quiet, makes no noise. That whine of the ESC is completely gone. There is no binding whatsoever. It is very smooth. No issues with the 4-wheel steer whatsoever. And it's torquey. It's got lots of snap to it. Not a speed demon by any means, but definitely got a lot of snap off the bottom. It has a nice linear power curve, As you go through the throttle, it does have that little hitch right there. But once you get out of that, it's a very linear power band through the range. We're going to try to see it. Not bad. Not bad at all. It's a pretty cool setup. So let's get the body on it. We'll put it back on the course and we'll see how it performs in real world conditions. Here we go. Brushless system on the course. Let's check it out. So it's definitely twitchy. It's twitchier than I expected for a brushless system. I would have expected it to be smoother, especially off the bottom. It is definitely an improvement over the AX24 stock setup. That whine is gone. It's very quiet. I'm not feeling like there's any binding due to the ESC. Whoa, hang on. Good save. All right, she held on for dear life there. So I'm sure you can see that and probably hear it on camera. It just has a hitch off the bottom, right where you want that smooth, slow control with the brushless system. This is more abrupt than I was expecting. No issues with the ESC there. It's got a strong drag brake on it. Now let's get into our challenge lines here. We'll hit the escalator first. Has lots of punch, I will say that. It seems to be really happy in the mid to higher RPM ranges. All right, good run there. Over onto the chute now. Nice and smooth up the chute, no issue. And Hell's Gate, last one here. Really nice run up Hell's Gate. That was great. I'm getting the hang of the driving style required to really use this thing. Like I said, I was trying to drive it like I would my normal brushless systems, which is very slow off the bottom. This wants to be in the higher RPMs, I feel like. I like it though. It's a good combo. Once you kind of level set your expectations, or if you had not experienced a brushless motor before from other manufacturers, it might not be that big of a deal. But I'm just kind of wrestling with my driving style in this thing. I'm starting to get the hang of it a little bit more. Yeah, it's getting better now that I'm getting used to it. I like the punch. It's got a ton of power. Now when I talk about slow speed control, here's what I'm going to demonstrate here. Now this is the AX24 fully built that I have that's running the FuryTech system. When I just get into the very low RPMs here, get this thing going, you can see that is slow speed crawling right there. It's barely visible to see it move. Now we put that next to the AX24. I can't slow it down any more than that right there. So let's talk about the brushless kit. What do you guys think? First impressions for me, I think it's a good kit. It's got a lot of power. It's got some serious punch right in the mid and top range. And that seems to be really where it's most happy from a motor perspective. It really wants to kind of ride that wave when you get into that mid-range power. I wish it was smoother on the bottom. It's got kind of an abrupt hit off the bottom, and then it's a little jerky until you get to that mid-range where it seems to be most happy, like I said. I'm used to that really glacially slow and ultra controlled power curve right off the bottom, and you just don't get that with this setup. But with that said, at $90, you're about $45 to $50 less money than you are for some competitors' kits. The FuryTech setup is $135 for the AX24 or $140 for some other rigs. So you are saving a significant amount of money going with this kit, but you're also foregoing the ability to run 3S, and you don't get any tuning or customization options with this setup. Overall though, I think it is a great upgrade. If you want to completely transform the powertrain of your rig, this is an affordable and effective way to do it. I would call this a great beginner's brushless system because of the ease of installation. It was super easy to install, plug and play, no ancillary modifications. You don't have to cut up or anything or relocate anything from your chassis. Direct bolt in, bolts right up to the stock transmission. In this case, plugged right into the stock ESC. Would be the same for other trucks. We did talk about some of the compatibility issues with some of the other SCX24 models, but for the most part, very, very easy installation. I think there's a lot of value here to get a plug and play brushless system for 90 bucks. I think it's a pretty cool option, and I love to see some competition in the brushless market. You guys know I always say that competition is good for us, the consumers, and I love to see new entrants into this market. But let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of this brushless system? I'll put the link in the description also for this if you want to pick it up. At the time of this recording, it is available for pre-order, but orders should be shipping later this month. As always, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I will see you in the next video.